We're going back down under. I'm not going to clip the story because it's all over the place, but if you're in the know and you still fairly watch the news, you'll understand what I'm about to talk about. And my condolences to the father. As usual, I'm not going to say names. I'm just going to share the story. So there was a family with a mother and father, and they somehow end up separating or could be separated. The story is not very clear on this, but we know at the time the father was not living in the house. The reason that detail is specific is based on what I'm about to tell you next. Two boys went to school Monday as normal, went home Monday night, and just didn't go to school Tuesday. And in a short amount of time, these two brothers, one 11 and one 9, would be found unalived. Their mother would also have stab wounds, but is recovering in the hospital. Now investigators a few days later, because I'm moving too fast. When the father arrived, he had already found his boys unalived. I think he got on the scene before the police arrived. His car is still barricaded behind the crime scene tape. They're waiting for the mother to recover before they ask her questions. Now it's coming out that the two little boys, before they were unalived, were drugged, then stabbed. They're not saying in the article that I read that the mother did it, but they are alluding to the fact that her wounds in comparison with their wounds seems incompatible. Like if she either did it or knows who did. Of course, they don't say that the father has those wounds. He was living outside of the house at the time that this happened. See, this is your usual story around the world. The supermom who puts her family online with the happy kids in the happy home, shows off her children's accolades. But behind the scenes, it's also the same sad story when some people can put up an act of something that they know out of the public spotlight does not exist. And I get it. We all have lives in public and in private. We don't show everybody everything about us all the time. I agree that we shouldn't necessarily do that anyway. But when you read into this story, no one saw this act coming. And I wonder in the coming days if the mother really did unalive her sons, how people are going to feel. Because there's a twinge of mental health already being included in this, but nothing prior to this so far is revealing this. Again, you all live in Australia. You have to tell me because you're up in what's called the Blue Mountains. I really don't know. When I first read this story, I thought it had happened somewhere in the United States, and then I had to look it up. No parent wants to bury a child at all. And this father, who they can prove now was not involved, will have to bury two sons who were just in the prime of their lives, who seemingly were in a happy situation. But remember, we only know what's being reported. We don't know the facts. I might live in the United States, but my full heart goes out to this man. When you're no longer living with the person you created children with, I don't care what anyone tells you, because coming from a single home myself, the parent who's not the primary custodial parent will always worry about your well-being. When you read this story, this isn't something where you think something was happening to the kids behind the scenes. You get the sense that these little boys didn't realize they were in danger. It's a lot of silent pauses. I just don't know what to say. This is one of those stories where I can't say be careful who you marry, because you can marry someone split up, and it's not uncommon for those same people to go and watch their kids grow up and as divorcees to each other, go to their own children's weddings, spend time with their grandchildren. Why is the world so wicked? Why does it have to be like so unfair? My condolences to the father, because we don't yet know, and rightfully so in his grief, what would make his wife, or soon to be ex-wife, whatever's going on, do this. But these stories are becoming too common, where kids are being unalived and pawns in a chess game that they didn't ask to play. Whether it's both sides or one side, the children are getting hurt. Let's normalize protecting them at all costs.